Let's draw the Parthenon using 3-point perspective. We're going to create our frame first on the 18 by 24 paper. It's a 19 by 18 inch frame. Our 18 by 24 paper, the side I'm using, I have it horizontal, so that means the 24 inch is going the width-wise, and then it's 18 high. And we're working in perspective, so we're going beyond the frame of the image itself to allow room for the vanishing points. So we're doing a frame within a frame. So our larger frame is 18 inches high and then 19 inches wide. So we're going to make this 19 inches wide to include the vanishing points. So I'll start over on the left side. At the bottom of my paper, and measure 19 inches. And then I will parallel my ruler with the side of my paper. Draw a vertical line. And then I have the bottom of the image, so about 1 inch plus 1/8 above the bottom of the paper, and then you can parallel that to the bottom of the paper. The width of the image, well, we'll just say where it starts. I got it starting at 2.5 and ending at 14.5. And this is of the larger frame that you drew. So go in 2.5 and make a mark, and then go in. I went in 2.5 on the larger frame, made a mark, and then going to 14.5. That's my 12-inch mark, 12. And then if I add 2.5, that's 14.5. So that's the frame of the image itself, parallel to the side of your frame, the larger frame. And here I can parallel to the left side of the larger frame. And the height of the image is at 9 inches down from the top. And I can do that in a couple places so I don't have to focus so hard on the paralleling. And this is right in the middle too, so it's not as close to something to be parallel with. So this is the image itself, the Parthenon. It's about the size you would do it normally on a 8.5 by 11 or 9 by 12 paper. But we need this full paper to get the vanishing points in. So we have vanishing points. We've determined at the edge of the paper. And I'm just going to put the horizon line at the bottom of our image frame. So our vanishing point is here at the edge of the paper, the edge of the frame, the larger frame that we drew, and then here at the left edge of the larger frame that we drew. And then the top vanishing point, the third point, is right in the middle. Okay, I have it at 8.5 in. And it's near the, it's at the top of the paper. So 8.5 in at the top of the paper. So right there, can you see that? Oh, I'm gonna go higher for you to see that. So that's 8.5 from the left side of the drawn frame. 8.5 ends right there. Okay. All right, so I want to start with the pediment. The pediment, I guess, is, I looked it up, and it's the triangular part. This is more, I guess this is just called the roof. That's this cubic structure that's going around the top. I want to start with that, and then we can fit the columns to that. And we'll do the foundation last. So this structure starts at 5 3/4 inches in and at the 9.5 inch mark down. Okay, this is from the larger frame. 5 3/4 in and 9.5 down. So we have the, so a 1/2 inch down from the top of the image frame. So right here, this marks the top of this flat piece. Okay, and then I'm going to aim towards the vanishing point where I have it now, and then I'm also going to check myself, see if I want to adjust anything. Because I'm going to measure the other side and see how far that down that is. You know, this is a choice. I think I'm going to leave it, actually. I'm going to leave it the way it is. It's okay. Leaving my vanishing point at the bottom edge of the frame. I mean, it's just a small difference. And so I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, but I'm glad I checked, because yeah, I think it's a good place for the vanishing point. And okay, so this piece here doesn't go more than a couple inches. There's a little tiny line down. And then we draw another line towards the vanishing point. So I can't reach my vanishing point all the way, but I can keep my pencil in place when I get to the end of my line and then slide the ruler, keeping it in line with the line and then seeing if it's getting close. And by close, I mean within a quarter inch of the vanishing point, and I think that's close enough. And then I'm also looking relative to the other line. I mean, it should look like it's starting to merge toward the other line, and it is. This one I can reach the vanishing point, so I don't have to think about it as much. And it ends around here, but I don't know exactly. I mean, I was measuring everything else, so I'll just measure this. It's going 2.5 inches in from the picture frame, which seems kind of long, doesn't it? That's a little bit long. I think that's a little bit long. So I will just leave it where it is. So I know that a little bit under here is another corner. So I'm going to draw a line towards the vanishing point again on the right, the vanishing point on the right side. And then I'll check that. And that's pretty close. And this one, should I continue it? Yeah. What's at the top of this line where I'll be drawing a line is not actually a line, it's these blocks, stone blocks, which were there on the front. You can see them, they have stone in between, but then the stone's gotten knocked out on the left side, so there's spaces in between the blocks. Yeah. Okay, and then how far does that go to the left? That's about, it stops at about 3/4 of an inch from the image frame. So it stops right there. And then below this line, we want to go down an inch. So we'll just go down an inch below this line. This is the corner. And we have this flat piece here, so I need to go towards the right vanishing point and the left. Checking. Yeah, that's in the right area, very close to the vanishing point. And I can connect to the left vanishing point. That ends there. And then let's see, I need to use the right vanishing point for this part going back behind there. And there's a halfway mark on the halfway point, or a line. Use the right vanishing point for that. And that halfway line exists on the other side too. And then this part's interesting. So on the left side of there, I was saying that there's blocks that are cut out. So let's do that. That takes a little bit of thought. We've got 1, 2, 3, 7. No, 6. 6 of them plus whatever's under here. There's some kind of flat piece right there. So we'll just do, what we'll do is we need to use the top vanishing point for any vertical. So if this one looks like it's coming from underneath that piece sticking out. So that's my vertical line. And then I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more lines. They're going to get closer and closer together. So without the ruler, it'd be best to start without the ruler and space that out. I erased this one because the angle is much more than what I did. So 12 lines. 1, 2, increasing the spacing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I gradually increased the spacing on those 12 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. And so I gradually increased the spacing, so I think that'll work. I need to fix the lines because my angle is not going to be correct. So I'm going from either the top or the bottom. I think I'll go from the bottom. Redrawing this line. Using the vanishing point on the top. All right, and then each of these, so this is one piece right here. I have identified the top of it and the two sides. So then the top of it, or the right side of the top of it needs to go back in space behind this one. So I'm going to use the right vanishing point and just go back in space. And then I'm going to add some hatch lines so that it's obvious that it's going behind. And I'll redraw this line here too. See how that's working? And then identify the top of the next one. There's a space in between. And I'll switch to my HB pencil for this actually. Identified the top, drawing a line towards the right vanishing point, and it's going behind that. Okay, and then next one. Identify the top and the sides, use the right vanishing point. Next, going behind the other one, adding some shading marks so that I can see obviously the difference between the planes. Next one. Identified the top and the sides, lining up with the right vanishing point, going behind, adding shading. Next one, it's getting closer together. Identified the top, sides, use the right vanishing point, hatch marks. And next one, top, sides, right vanishing point, hatch marks. And I think that's all I want to do. It's getting kind of ambiguous after that. So I'm going to leave that like that. And then this, I need to use the top vanishing point for this side of that piece. There we go. Darken this one while I'm here. Yeah. Cool. Okay. I think the next exciting thing to do, I'm going to add some, this is not the next exciting thing to do, but I'm going to add some marks going this way on this one. I don't know if we'll add more details than this, so I'm just adding this. These are just hatch lines. I'll make them a little bit more closer together than that. Using the 2H pencil, I want just there to be some difference here. Visually, it helps me. I'll do some this way too. A little bit of light shading with the 2H, just to see where I'm at. Alright. That's the underside of this top piece. I'll have to come back later and do some more touch-ups on that, but that's okay. And so the bottom of this piece, how far below the corner? It looks like 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, we'll say 3/4 of an inch for this piece, for this underside thickness at the corner here. So right there, 3/4 of an inch down. Use the right vanishing point. And use the left vanishing point. Okay, so this is the underside of this wall piece. And it feels too. So now this is the underside. I can do some, just because all these lines can get confusing, some subtle shading. It's not a bad idea to help you see where you're at. I don't want to make it too strong or obvious, but just to help me see where I'm at. That's the underside. And then I'm going to make ellipses for the tops of the columns. And then they have squares on the outside of the ellipses, but maybe I'll do the squares first. Let's do the squares first. Okay, so this square at the corner, I'm just going to eyeball this. It's at the corner, so it's coming out like this. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 more. 7 more to the end. The end, we went all the way to the edge of the thing. So the end of this thing should be 2 1/4 inches in. So right here is the end of this roof. And this vertical is going to be affected by the top vanishing point, of course. Yeah. Okay, so 7. Seven columns. So like we did for this, same thing. So I need for 7 more 14 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 lines. And this is going to go this way then. Okay, so starting from this point, one, two, three. Well, they need to be in pairs because next to each other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Need to go a little bit closer together. Let me start again. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and then if they look too skinny, might be good to, I'm gonna make them thicker. That one was too skinny. Alright, so I'm gonna be making, so these are the top squares that hold the ellipses, or the round parts of the column. Column is coming into it like this, so draw an ellipse. Okay, let's do this on the other side. It might look a little funky right now, but when you add the columns and you'll see how everything fits, then you'll be. This is just these are just sketch lines, so don't worry about those. And you can lighten them up, lighten them up by rolling your kneaded eraser on them, so they don't appear so final. Because they're not. It's just trying to find what's happening down here. So let's try to find what's happening on the left side. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, including this one, so 4 more. So that's 8 lines. Do the bottom of this going towards the right vanishing point. And then I want my 8 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, yeah, it's like there's one of these between every other thing, so maybe we can just use this. Seems to match, yeah. So one here, 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 and here. Something like that. As this is one column here, and I think one here, 2, 3, and then this little one. So I'm eyeballing this. So I mean, there's only 4, so I'm figure can move things as needed, but it does the spacing feel right? Does it feel like it's gradually increasing? It does to me on this. It feels like it's gradually increasing in space all the way up to this one. So I think that's good for those columns. And then the lines beside them, I'll just draw them lightly in case I change my mind about something. Aiming towards the vanishing point. There are columns hidden in the back on the part that's going back behind this way, and then there's this central thing in the middle. We might choose to ignore those. I mean, not the ones in the back, but maybe we might choose to ignore the ones in the middle. But I think we're ready to do the columns. So like I said, we'll clean it up later, but this seems to be placed pretty well. And the spacing seems to be increasing, going towards the middle. So we can start doing the columns. So aiming towards the middle vanishing point, top middle vanishing point, draw your column lines. Okay. So these look pretty good. If you need to adjust, it's probably not a big deal because like this, there's an extra line. I don't even have to erase it because the columns have lines on them. So, but yeah, just look at your columns now and see how they feel. I'm gonna bring a line over on this one too. These last two, there's no space in between, but that's okay. When I draw it, I will leave it without space in between. And then, yeah, that's okay. So I want to do these columns too. So these don't have any space in between. So I'm just going to do the right side, aiming towards the top vanishing point. The mistake that you can make is that you're going to assume the way things should go, but you really have to use the vanishing point because your assumption is going to be wrong. 3-point is so outside of 3-point perspective is so outside of your expectations. So. This is an extra column. Okay, that's pretty good. So, got to make the foundation next, and add the decorative lines to these columns. Do the background. And decide if we're gonna do. Well, I have to do these back columns too. Or the back part of the roof at least. Let's do the tops of these columns. I'm watching how the angle is changing based on the lines that I drew before. Remember that the angles flatten out around the horizon, closer to the horizon lines. Which our horizon lines are way at the bottom of the frame, but they are, the angles are decreasing. Okay, I'm going to start the column lines on the bigger ones. Keeping in mind that the angles are gradually changing from one side to the other. I decided to use my lighter pencil just in case I want to change anything. So. But if I like it, it's perfect, and the light pencil is probably fine. It's not 100% perfect, but perfect enough. And I'll probably go over the edges with the dark. Yeah, I'll use my dark pencil on the edges. That looks good. Yeah. Okay, remember that the angles are changing. It's all affected by the top vanishing point, so your ruler needs to change angle gradually. You can also see where you're headed by the line of the column to the right of you if you're moving from left to right. So you can adjust gradually as you move across. I might be doing too many lines, I don't know. It looks okay. Cool. And the foundation. I finished the top actually, because I'm pretty happy with the top. Let's go ahead and finish it. We've got this part sticking out here. Aim towards the left vanishing point to draw a line, and then coming out like that. Aim towards the top vanishing point for your vertical line, and then redo this line. All right, there's a gap here, broken spot after the third column. So we need to draw the vertical again. And then this broken part. And then the part above that, and then draw a vertical here, and then the underside of that part like that. So that's the broken piece. And then there's those triangle pieces. So we can just set a line for the, use the lighter pencil. Set a line for the, so try to line up with your vanishing point on the right. And set a line for the top edge of the first one and the top of the second one. But you want it to be in perspective because we can assume that they both broke in the same place at some kind of weak spot. And then we're going to draw to right before the second column. No, the third column. Right before the third column. From the corner. So this corner to right above the third column. And then on this side, it's stopping at the before the second to before the second to last column. So right here. So from the corner to there. And then we're going to draw the vertical above that. Using the top vanishing point. And then I'm going to be just parallel with that angle. And parallel with the other angle. And then this part is coming in using the left vanishing point. Going back there. Alright, and then we can shade the underside of that. And then this will be using the left vanishing point also here. And there. And shade the underside of that. Can erase my guideline. Reinforce my lines, because I'm going to leave it like this, even though it's more perfect, or it's less aged looking compared to the reference, but it's okay. We're just learning 3-point perspective using this. You can make it more realistic if you choose. Wouldn't hurt at all. Okay, and then the foundation. There's also these little lines, they're decorative lines that are spaced out. Let's do those. I only see them on this side, but there's 6 lines together in groups. Maybe I should count the spaces. There's spaces in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 spaces in between. So there's little things. And then 14 spaces in between. So 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's start over. We got 14 spaces. I'm going to start from the left side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, that seems pretty good spacing. So then, and then for the lines, I want 6 lines close together. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my 6 lines close together. And darkening the spaces between 2 of them. Okay. Then 1 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 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 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then one last one. 1, 2, 3. Just as many lines as I could fit there. And then I did it with the light pencil so I can adjust anything. So these seem okay. And then here, this one seems to move, needs to move over to the left slightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That spacing seems better. Well, this one can move to the right. There it is. Okay. And then I will redo it with my darker pencil. Clean it up. Looking good. And then this foundation. So the top of the foundation, the top corner is at 5 inches in, or no, 4.5 inches in from the larger frame. And how high is it? It is, good question. How high is it? It is at uh, 2 1/8 in. Yeah, something like that from the bottom. So 4.5 inches in, measuring at the bottom of my frame. Making a mark right there, 4.5 inches in, and then 2 1/8 up right there. Okay, that's too high, right? Wait, what am I, 2 1/8? Oh, from the bottom of the paper? 1, 2, and oh, right there. Okay. Yeah. So 2 1/8 from the bottom of your paper, not the bottom of your image frame. So that's the corner. So draw a line with a lighter, not your dark pencil. Draw a line to the left vanishing point and a line to the right vanishing point. And then you may erase everything below those lines. I think we'll ignore the columns in the back. Or no, let's do this thing in the back. Yeah, let's do that too. Let's do that too. Alright, so using the lighter pencil, connect from the bottom corner and connect to the left vanishing point. You're going to have to go in between your columns. So hold on tight to your ruler. And these columns are supposed to be merged together, but it didn't end up happening. But I'll look at that again. Okay. So this is the underside of the roof beam. And then we want to go a little bit higher. I'm going to estimate that visually. You have to use the left vanishing point still. So as long as it doesn't get too thick up here. But that looks fine to me. I mean, this thickness should be the same moving, and then it's going to shrink down to like that. Yeah, I think right here is good. Okay, and then there's an underside. I think mine looks kind of thick, so I'm going to put the underside above this line rather than below, because I think it's thick enough already. So it'll just look thicker if I put the underside there. So I'm going to do the underside here. And shade that. Okay. That looks nice to have that line back there. And I don't feel like we need to add the other columns right now. Again, you can add that in if you want. And then, so just the foundation is all that's left. So coming down from the corner, we're drawing a vertical. And then I'm going to connect to the right vanishing point. Draw my line without moving my ruler, hopefully. There. And then this is going a little bit beyond that step, and then draw another vertical. The vertical actually should be affected by the top vanishing point. There, that's more like it. And now the other vertical is like that. Right. Go towards the right vanishing point again with this line. And I'll go towards the left vanishing point from that top of that line. And then the bottom is going out a little bit further. And then it kind of, I don't know, I'm going to use the vanishing point on the left, but that step is kind of falling apart. Or it did fall apart thousands of years ago, and it's still apart. And then the foundation, there's this other stone in front up here. I feel like doing that. Add some shading with the 2H. Okay, and then I'll make my frame a little stronger. Just adding a little bit of texture on the stones in the front, just for fun. Okay, and so for the sky, I think it'll look nice to erase some clouds out of a ground. So you can, I'm happen to be using a softer graphite. And then we're going to smudge it, and then we'll erase the clouds out of it. Okay, and then erasing the clouds. So I'm starting with the brightest areas, and then I'll use this with using the plastic eraser, and then I'll use the kneaded eraser, which is more subtle after that. Switch to the kneaded eraser. Nothing's stopping you from coming back in and adding some value to your clouds to shape them with a pencil, like a 2H if you want. I don't think I'm going to do that. Maybe down here on the bottom. You can bring your kneaded or your blending stump in too to shape these things. Okay, and do I want to do anything else? I don't know. I think I'm done. I'm just touching it up here and there according to my own subjective preferences. Looking for shadows. There's more shadow. There's shadow. I should shade under here because there's a strong shadow here on top of these things, this decoration. Yeah. And yeah, there's a little. I'm gonna put a little bit more shading on this foundation. And I got some erasing I needed to do here too. That line I did right there is too strong. Okay, yeah, just do the same thing with yours. Look over, see if there's anything that you feel like you're missing. And that'll do it.